Hi, this is KV and this is the Moon Phase Report for Libra. Okay, so right now all energy is like channeled and focused into your relationships with others. There's been a lot of energy, and assertive energy, and a hopeful energy that you've been feeling with your peoples, and it's the people that you're closest to. So right now there's a lot of room for you to be kind of growing closer with people and really being able to kind of like establish these new ways of relating with your people, so there really is like this mutual understanding, mutual respect, you know, understanding where they're coming from, them understanding where you're coming from, so you just kind of feel like more love for, you know, the people that are closest in your life. And there can also be this kind of awakening because this aspect that's going on right now with Venus and Mars in Aries are right there too. And it's going to kind of just be opening your heart to people. And this can even be people in general, you know, maybe even just kind of more clearly seeing the love in people and understanding more where they're coming from, not judging them so much, not having this thing of like, oh, that person's this and that, but just being like, gosh, we're all worthy of love. We're all worthy of being heard and respected, and understanding like where they're coming from and how that has created who they are, and kind of understanding that more instead of judging that. There can be some kind of clarity or awakening going on with that. I know that that happens too a lot. Yeah, let's pull that in. Whenever we take ourselves out of our familiar environment, and that's where you have Jupiter right now, which is expanding your life through coming in contact with people from other cultures or other places, or traveling to other places. There's something I always say, like I'm always like, you cannot stay in your hometown. Like you have to go outside of that box, because that's how you kind of understand how we all are the same, but we're just coming from our own little perspectives of what our little box is. But once we go out, we realize everybody has their own perspective, and something about doing that opens our minds more, and we kind of go outside of our box because of that. You know, because we're, you know, you meeting people from all over the world, it kind of makes you not think that your little perspective from what you came from isn't really that valid, or isn't something that you should so hold truth, hold this solid thing of this is da 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 da, you know. So you kind of just like, oh, you know, by putting yourself in these other environments with other people who are outside of your familiar circle, you inadvertently open your mind more to accepting more people, and accepting where they're, you know, we're all fighting, not really fighting the same battle, but you know, we're all living this life of being human and trying to figure out how to do it, and trying to figure out how to be happy, and trying to figure out how to do what we're meant to do. And once you just kind of see that, you don't hold so solid to your views as the only ones that matter, or the only ones that are the truth. So there can be some kind of expansion going on like that right there with relationships to others. There's a lot of room to be growing closer to the people that you love. Your heart's just out there. There's a lot more room to really appreciate your people, you know, and like how lucky you are to have them, and how they kind of make your life more whole and feel more complete. So there's a lot of love in that arena, and with sharing with people right now. And that's where a lot of your focus is going to be. So the new moon wishes, or the new moon intentions, are going to be all related to people in your life right now. So you can say, I am growing closer to my partner, or I am magnetizing a partner who's really totally cohesive with me, so that we come together and we just shoot up, because that's how relationships should be. You inspire each other, you grow together. You can say, I am coming together with work partners, because this will be like work relationships too. It's anybody you are really close with in a relationship. So I am coming together with work partners so that we can come together and further a cause. Because more people is always more powerful than one. So when you do come together with others with the same cause, you have a better way of really reaching and going out there and making something happen. So I am becoming more loving with the people in my life. I am expressing my emotions clearer with the people in my life. I am expressing love and appreciation for the people in my life. And I'm just doing it, and I'm just saying it, and I'm not holding back anymore, because the energy too is about just going out there and saying it and doing it. It's not about lagging behind. You know, we've been in that for months. We've been in the hold back, think it over, figure it out, but now it's really action. It's forward. It's you're going to do A, B, C, D, let's go. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. I'm going to say this to this person. I'm going to bridge this confusing thing with that person. You know, there can be a bridge factor, you know, just kind of coming forward, and I want to heal this thing that we had. Let's just nail this on the head and bring it out and start the healing process and go from there in a positive manner. So there's much assertion. So you're also just really like knowing what you need to do. It's so clear. You've been inspired. There's a level of inspiration, expansion, hopefulness galore. Like you're definitely like, okay, I am really ready to start this, do this. There's a lot of confidence with this one too, you know, where you really are sure of what you need to do and you're just going to do it. And you're like, hey, you know, so it's very ballsy and assertive. And that's awesome. So it's a really fun, it's full of love too. There's so much open heart love. Like we really are connecting, all of us. Every sign is really kind of connecting more to animals, to people, to life, to the trees, to the beauty of everything right now. There's this major tweaking that's going on in our bodies, and I talk about it more in the main horoscope reading that's for everybody, but we're just seeing so much love in people, you know, that we didn't see before. We maybe would have judged before and said, you know, oh, that's not beautiful because it doesn't fall into this category. And like those categories are falling away. And how dream come true is that, you know? Like to have these superficial things that, you know, you have to be these certain things to be considered beautiful or acceptable is just ridiculous, you know? That's the stuff that doesn't last, you know? So it's like there's this beauty that's shining out of us, and especially the more we get aligned to our soul purpose, or just to loving and honoring who we are no matter what, you know, and people are just doing that. We're sick of fighting with, you know, never being good enough, or somebody told us we couldn't do this, or somebody did this to us. So we've held ourselves back, and like we're just really breaking free from that kind of stuff and those kind of stigmas, and it's just all this brand new arena out there of feeling good about who we are, you know, and by doing that we allow others to feel good about who they are, and it's happening, and it's this widespread thing going on. And if you just go out, you'll see like there's just beauty in everything and everyone, you know, everyone can be beautiful if they have this thing going on inside of them. And like no matter what they do look like, suddenly your eyes are going to be like, you're so beautiful, I don't see anything wrong with you, you know. So it's just this perfect, loving, awesome, inspirational, hopeful energy that we're in right now. And we're also in eclipse season right now. The actual eclipse is coming on May 9th, but they always have like months that they kind of start building up. And this is a new moon. This should not be crazy energy for you. If you are feeling any kind of excuse me, I'm not breathing. Breathe. If there is any kind of crazy energy, it just needs to be reinterpreted. It doesn't need to be seen as a negative. There's a really big new perspective thing going on with the new energies of this year anyway that are really helping us see something new. That's why I always tell people, like, they get fired from their job. Awesome. I just did this reading for this most fantastic girl who has everything to live for and to shoot for and can do anything. You know, this is someone that is like very small percentage of human beings, and she can have anything she wants as long as she really keeps her mind on this one track. And she was talking about getting fired from being a secretary, and I'm like, no shit, you got fired from, you're not a secretary, dude. Come on, you're like a shaman. You will be, you know, you have this really powerful life force birth chart gift thing. You're not supposed to be a secretary. No wonder you got fired. But so yeah, just having new perspectives, because a lot of time that firing thing does happen to realign us with something that's better, and it's a normal thing. It's not something. It's something to be give thanks for, because a lot of times we can't leave things unless we're pushed out of them. So there's this new perspective thing that we're all kind of doing, and seeing things a little different and tweaking our brains to be like, oh, that's not such a bad thing, you know. But so many times we have these old ways of thinking of things as anything that isn't like, you know, feels absolutely great, we interpret as a bad thing, but that's not really the case. So with this eclipse, you can actually, I wrote an article already on Aquarius Nation. I put the link down below so you can go find out how this eclipse is going to affect you, and it's awesome. Solars are all about new opportunities and new hope. So not only do we have this awesome new moon, we've got this awesome eclipse coming. We've got Venus about to move into Taurus on the 16th. We have Mars then going to move into Taurus on the 20th. So they're still going to be right there with each other, and then they're going to be in this total sensual love, caring for, touching, kind of this new it's also a really like doing something with your hands, creative projects kind of things too, really kind of connecting to earth energy too. So it's going to be really nice. We've got a huge spell of some really nice things, and it's, you know, on the tail end of doing a lot of work, peeling through a lot of layers, you know, looking at a lot of things we maybe didn't want to. But like I promised you, I said, if you look through those layers, you'll get to this kind of gold down below, the diamond down below. So, you know, it's completely worth it in the long run. So, Pluto also is going retrograde on the 12th. That for you. Oh, that for you. Okay, so we're going with that one. It's going to be, you know, a 5-month thing. You don't really need to think about it right now. It's not like you're having to work. You had to do work before. You know, you had to consciously be in there. But this one is going to be very much beneath the surface, childhood related, wound related, healing this stuff that are like fragments from your foundation. And it's been going on for a while. You know, you've been in this for years, and you will be in this for several more years. But right now, you know, he gives you breaks. But right now he is going to spend the next 5 months kind of going down there to unearth some things for you to see. And honestly, it's just going to be about, things will come to you out of the blue. They can come as body pains, they'll come as memories. And you're really just to kind of look at them and give them love and give them forgiveness and give them a new perspective of seeing like what you did gain from it. Which most often when it is childhood wound related, it is something that is that you then help others with, you know. So it's this kind of thing that seeing it in the higher way is rising above it, so that you can see how you can help others through the same thing, because we're all in this together and we're all connected. So seeing it in that different way, those are, you know, but this is the next several months, and you've been going through it anyway, so this isn't really news to you. But it is kind of getting more in there to just clean this stuff, transform this stuff, heal it with love, so that you can move forward in these other ways. Because all this has to be healed before you can do this other stuff that takes your career out there, that launches you out there. Because that's like too, you know, in June we have Jupiter moving into your career house, and for a whole year he sits up there and is just like the magic genie who's like granting you whatever wish you want, you know, with your career, and giving you opportunities to get out there, to jump out there. That's when, especially that year, is when if you want to leap from your job to something more higher vibrating, more honoring of who you are and what your gifts are, that's when it's going to happen. You know, and that's like the best time to really start fresh in a career that is more aligned with you. And it definitely correlates with the work you're doing down on the foundation, because you've got to get that stable first. And we all have so many wounds down there. We can't handle looking at all of them at once. It would be really hard to heal from them if we had to. You know, I even had this soul retrieval, the first one I'd ever had, and she brought back 16 soul parts, which even later she was like, most people get one at a time, but it's like I had been doing all this work for years so that when I finally did go to a shaman, they were all ready to come back. But she was like, normally I bring one at a time and somebody might come once every couple months or whatever, you know, and I'm like, bring them. They're all my parts are like, we want to get back in that body, because parts of you leave when you can't handle something that happened. It's a part of you just leaves. It can't handle it because you were a child and you didn't know how to process it, and nobody was there to listen to you, to hear you, so this part of you left. So soul parts leaving you, layers 16. Gosh, normally I can grab it quicker than this. What was my point of that? All these layers that we have. Sorry. I know some of you, I know somebody there is like, oh, you were talking about this. All my friends that are Taurus can always call me back like that. Oh, we can't handle it all. Oh, so when she did bring them all back, she was like, but I'm not going to go through the ages. A lot of times when I bring them back, I tell you the age, I bring this other information, but I'm not, because you don't need to know. It's too much information, you know. So we do have so many wounds, most of us, so we can't handle them all at once. So it needs to be like layer by layer, layer by layer. And that's what Pluto's been working on for you for a while, so that you can do this other awesome thing with your career. And it's most likely sharing something of the healing process that you're going through. So, okay, that's going to be the new moon. And I will see you back for the full moon on the 25th. You have a beautiful new moon. These energies are awesome. Love them. Just kind of feel them and soak them in. It's really about just feeling how good this feels. And the more you can feel it, the more you can keep it going. So really just sit in it and love it. Okay? I'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a beautiful day.